Akadosh Boker or Daf Yomi Masechet Batra Daf Gimel Amud Aleph 93a1. We are on the Gemara where we were speaking about. We just spoke about the entire concept that if somebody is going to sell a slave to his friend and he's going to be found as a ganav or a kovustos, so he said igio. Why? Because it's common. This is something which is normal. But if it was a listim ziyan muhtav malchut, so he said no aresh shelcha lefonecha. So he said why didn't we say that in Reisha? He says it's not because the majority of the people are like that. I mean, we go after mamonot. So we answer kulu il yahachi itnu. Okay, here we are. Tashema. Okay, Tashema, second line. Yeah, he says like this. Tashema, we're going to learn in a braita. This is actually a mishnah babakama. Shor shenagach et hapara v'nimtzau bara betzida. We were just doing this in the mishnayot. Yeah, imagine right now you have a shor that it gored a para, and all of a sudden you find the ubar, which is dead, beside it. Ve'enu yudei iman shelo nircha yalda, right? Or iman shenagach yalda. Now you don't know if it first gave birth to a stillborn, meaning that it died and then it gored it, or the other way around. It gored it and then it caused it to have a miscarriage. Mishalem chetzi nezek la para. How much you have to pay to the para? Chetzi. Lama chetzi? Short tam. It's a tam. A tam mishalem chetzi nezek. So a tam has to pay chetzi. Ravia la vlad. Why ravia for the vlad? The vlad is ravia. Why ravia? Yeah? בגלל זה חצי של החצי. זאת אומרת, על הוולד המקסימום שאתה יכול לשלם זה חצי. אז בגלל שאתה יש לך ספק, אז אתה משלם חצי על החצי. שזה רביע. מה? No. No, ודאי מעוברת. ספק אם השור הרג את העובר. So בגלל שזה ספק אם הוא הרג את העובר או לא, so he pays חצי אבל חצי. The maximum שהוא יכול לשלם זה חצי, so the חצי וחצי is רביעה, right? Okay. Says the Gemara, Ramai. Why? He says, why? Yeah. Maybe הוא לא הרג אותה. So if he didn't kill it, why are you going to tell him to pay?
סתם אתה מחייב אותו שהוא מת, העובר.
העובר ודאי מת. השאלה, האם היא ממנו או שזה מת לבד? או אחרי. אוקיי? נכון, אז בגלל זה הוא רק רבייה. Yeah? No, the para was not dead. The para's alive. The child was a dead child. The para's alive. Yeah? So lema, right? So we're going to say, halacha charov parot. Go after the majority of the parot. Verov parot mitabrov yoldot. Just 1 second. The majority of the parot, right? They become pregnant and they give birth. So if they become pregnant and give birth, so therefore, for sure, it was alive. And therefore, why did she have the pala? Because of the goring, right? בגלל הנגיחה. אז אם זה צריך לשלם נזק, חצי נזק. ודאי מחמת הנגיחה נפלה, right? הפילה. אז ממילא it should pay full. It should pay the full damages, שזה חצי נזק, רק בגלל שזה תם. Yeah? So the Gemara answers, hata mishum de mesavkelan, there because we have a doubt, the ikalamema was we're going to say mikama ata, right? That we're going to say that the shor comes to the para, right? Came to the para milfanea, umibiatata. And then because of the biututa ze pachad. Because of the pachad, he pila. Right? The ikalamema, some people say meachora ata, that it came from the back, right? Umingach nagcha pila, and then it did it. So habi mamon mutal besafek. Bechol mamon mutal besafek. Yeah, cholkin. Meaning like this. Even if we're going to say that there's a rov, that the rov is the majority of the parot, they become pregnant and they give birth. So for technically, you should pay full. 1 second. If somebody goes to you and he goes, boo. Yeah, sometimes I feel like doing it in the morning. They come half chetzi lo yedama. Yeah, so you want to just do boo, right? And it wakes them up. Yeah. So now the question is, if you're going to wake them up in such a fashion, are you chayav or patur?
Chayav.
Patur.
Chayav.
Patur. Yeah, patur. במקרה שלי זה אפילו מצווה. אז for sure I'm patur. Yeah, for sure I'm patur. Yeah, but patur מדיני אדם. patur מדיני אדם.
No, ben adam ben adam.
Yeah, patur midine adam. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, patur midine adam. Okay? But that's what it says here. אפילו אדם המבית את חברו מזיקו בכך פטור בדיני אדם. זה גמרא במסכת בבא קמא, נ"ו עמוד א', 56a1. גמרא מפורשת. זאת אומרת, אני בא לבן אדם ואני אומר, oh! And he jumped. And because of that, his glasses went flying and they broke. And his phone went, I don't know what, and the water went all over his papers. Yeah? Yeah, he put the water there. What do you want? Yeah. In such a case, patur. Patur. Nada. Okay? Fine. So says the Gemara, now what happened is like this. Maybe the animal came from behind and it scared it. So when it scared it, it's patur for the nefel, for the child. Or maybe it went from behind and actually gored it. But then it's going to be chayav. So we don't know. Because of that, it pays chetzi, or the meaning the chetzi of the chetzi. Okay? Because it's a safek. So says the Gemara, what do we just say? Shor shaya roeh v'nimtza shor harug betzido. Imagine right now you have a shor that is grazing nicely. Yeah, little good guy. V'nimtza shor harug betzido. Yeah, you see this all the time. The guys, they play the good guys. Right? But then pitom, there's a shor harug betzido. So he says, af al pi shezeh menugach v'zeh muad ligach. Even though this one, he's gored, meaning somebody gored him. Right? And the other one is a habitual gore. He's a muad. This one is bitten. That means he got a bite. And the other one is a muad to bite. And we're not going to say biyadua shezenegacho, right? Or shezeneshacho, meaning substantial evidence. Zelo maslik. It's not enough. Meaning you know that this guy is a murderer. And you know that this guy was murdered. I still cannot say he murdered him. And again, we're talking about animals. So that means this is a muad to bite or a muad to gore. And the other one was gored. And the other one was bitten. I still do not say that. That is going to be the first shita. Rabbi Acha argues and he says, one second. Gamal ha'ocher ben ha'gemalim v'nimsa. Right? Gamal aruk betzido. The gamal that he's doing tashmish. So when he's in the middle of doing the tashmish, right, what happens is he's a little bit busy, so he's not paying attention what's going on around him. Yeah? So what happens? What's so funny? Yeah? So if right now you find a gamal, which is going to be killed on the side, we know that he killed him. Right? Why? It's darkali shtagea. He starts being makot. Yeah? And therefore you're going to come, right? That means, yeah? So therefore, so he says like this. He says, "Savru deruba v'chazaka ke'adad ninua." We thought that you have rov and you have a chazaka, and they're both equal, right? Why? Leima rav de'amar ke'biacha. Why don't we say rav that he goes that holchim mamon achar rov? He holds like a biacha that he says that the gamal is going to be chayav al pi chazaka, right? One more time. Rabbi Yacha says that when the gamal is having his relation, since he's mishtagyav ulo samlev, so therefore he could kill another gamal. So therefore, Rabbi Acha that he says you're going to be chayav, he holds like Rav. Shebe mamon olchim achar rov. So if the rov is that this gamal is mishtagya, and therefore he's going to be chayav, just like what Rabbi Acha says. So Rabbi Acha Rav, telamim shos, it's the same shita. And then Shemuel that says that we don't go after the mamon achar rov. So therefore, what he's going to say, we don't have this chazaka. Meaning, listen, I don't care. At the end of the day, it's not going to be mechayav klum. So Amar lecha Rav is going to tell you. I hold even according to Tanakama. He says, why? When do the Tanakama say that we don't go after chazaka? Right? That means basically if you're going to find the shore, right, dead on the street, right beside the other shore. He says, aval bataruba azlina. Right? When it is bataruba, we do go after the chazaka. Right? We go after the rov. Right? Meaning, we're not going to go after chazaka, but you go after rov. Ruba v'chazaka, ruba adif. What does that mean? It's much stronger. Rov is stronger than chazakah. Rov is majority. You go after the majority takes stronger than a chazakah that he probably did it. Right? That's a chazakah. The chazakah that he probably did it. Right? He says, Shmuel Amalecha, but Shmuel is going to tell you, I'm going to go even according to Rabbi Yacha. Why? He says, when is Rabbi Yacha going to go over there by the gamal that we go after chazakah? because he himself is the chazakah, right? That he's the horeg. What is the chazakah? The goof of the gamal. Yeah, that means basically since they come and they're mishtagim u'mitpara'im, he says over here. So for the chazakah tells us that this gamal is the one which is mitpareah. Yeah. Yeah. No, יש כאלה אנשים אפילו. זה אותו דבר. Yeah. What does that mean? They're mishtagim, right? They go wild and then the thing. So he says over here. Yeah. So he says over here. Yeah. He says so who gufa muhzak. So he himself is going to be a chazakah because it's a body. אבל בתרובה לא הזרינה. He says, but after the rov, we're not going to go, right? What does that mean? We're not going to go after the rov. Yeah. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's not always. Meaning, if it's not the actual body, which is the chazakah of what it's doing, it's completely different. Okay. So he comes and he says, it's not like the chazakah of the shor or the gamal. The rov is not in front of us. So therefore, it's much stronger. It's much weaker. So therefore, he says you cannot come and be, done on a shor mesuyam according to the rov of chitzon, which has nothing to do with his body. Okay, fine. So now he comes and he says like this, yeah, Tashema. We're going to try to bring another proof now. We're trying to bring a proof to Shemuel. Remember, Shemuel says en olchim achar mamon, right? En olchim achar rov b'mamon. Okay, Tashema. We're going to try to bring another proof now. Hamocher perot lachavero. Yeah, somebody comes and he's going to be mocher perot lachavero. Yeah, sell fruits to his friend. Uzra'an, he plants them, lo tzamchu. It didn't sprout forth. Vafilu zera pishtan, even if it's going to be zera pishtan, he's not going to be chayav. So says the Gemara, "Mai ze afilu." What do you mean even zera pishtan that you're coming and you're planting? He says, "Love afilu zera pishtan." The majority of people they actually plant it, meaning you didn't actually take it to eat. You're taking it for the planting. So as a filu achi lo zima teruba, we still don't go after ruba. So answers the Gemara Tanahi. Really, be'emet it's machlok Tanaim. Ma machlok Tanaim exactly? Hamocher pero lechavru zam lo tzamchu zero negina shene chali. If it's zero negina, for sure you're going to be chayav. Lama ta chayav? Because zero negina ata lo ochel. And since you don't eat it, so if you obviously bought it for planting. So if you planted it and it didn't plant, it didn't sprout forth. Mekach taut. תחזיר את זה. זה זירו נגינה. מה? מה? הוא צריך להחזיר את הכסף.
צריך להחזיר את הזרעים, לא?
הוא לא צריך, זה לא צמח. At the end of the day, if it's a מקח טעות, it's מקח טעות. Okay. Yeah, fine. Yeah, if nothing grew at all. We're not talking about no, if a person does everything normally, again, obviously was not doing everything normally, there's no problem whatsoever. Again, it's a problem with your zrain. And if it's impossible that all the zrain, nothing grew anything. So therefore, it's a problem with the zrain. Zera pishtan, it's going to be zera pishtan, you're not going to be chayav achrutan. Rabbi Yosef argues and he says, Tzadikim Amud Bet, 93b. He says, Noten lo demea zera, you have to give him the money back. You have to give him the money back. Yeah, why? Because he paid. You have to give him the money back. Amrulo, they say, what happens? They want to listen. A lot of people they buy it for other things, right? What is other things? Ma'achal, refuah. Some people do the refuah. Other people to eat, and therefore, if he could actually say that, he's not chayav b'chrutan. Because he could say, "Listen, I thought you were buying it for refuah. I thought you were buying for it to, meaning if there's not a lot of people that buy it for that, and they only buy it for the zrain, right? Meaning to plant it. So that's it. הוא חייב להחזיר את זה. להחזיר את הכסף. למה? He has to give back the money because it didn't plant, it didn't grow. So there's a problem with it, it's the defect. Okay? So says the Gemara, Man Tanai, who's the Machloka Tanaim, whether we go after the rov or not, if it's going to be the Rabbi Yosef, the Amrulo, right? And they said to him, Tarvayu Bataruba Azli, that they go after the rov, and right, just the question is which is the rov? More Azil Bataruba Inche, or more Azil Bataruba Zriya. Meaning one chacham, which is Amrulo, they go after Rov Bnei Adam. So if Rov Bnei Adam, they buy it for the fuah and for ma'achal, so that became Rov. And therefore it's going to be patur. Meaning I'm going to take, what is the majority? What do people buy this for? So you're going to go into the store. You're going to ask, why are they buying this? Are they buying it for planting? Or are they buying it for ma'achal v'refuah? If the majority are ma'achal and refuah, yeah, Yeah. So therefore, what happens? So therefore, obviously, he's got rov with him. He says, but the second one is going after rov the zriya. What does that mean? Rabbi Yosef is going after rov of the zraim, right, which are sold as zriya, and therefore he's going to be mechayev otam, not after the rov of the people, the rov of the zraim. Ela, but rather Tanakama of Rabbi Yosef, Tanakama of Amrulo, but rather the machloket is going to be between Tanakama and Rabbi Yosef or Tanakama and Amrulo. So okay, fine. Let's see the other writer. Ma'u notelno. What is a chayav? What is a mocher chayav to pay the lokeach? Demei zera velo haotzah. Yeshomrim af haotzah. Meaning like this. Imagine I go to your store, Mordechai. Right? You're selling zraim. You're called Zirone Mordechai. Yeah? Or during the time of Mordechai and Esther, they ate zironim. No, what's his name? Right, Esther Daniel. Right? Okay. Fish atach Daniel. Okay, fine. So the zironim. So imagine I come, I tell you, I take it, I plant it. Now it didn't work. Yeah, no, we just said that you're chayav l'shalem בחזרה. No, אפילו אם אתה לא שואל. לפי השיטה הזאת, אתה חייב לשלם לי בחזרה. The שאלה though is, do you have to pay me for the work or not? Because when I bought it from you, I did two things. Number one, I paid you for the, whatever it is, I paid him $10. Right? יפה מאוד. Right? יש הרבה דברים. Right? אז הוצאתי. Yeah. הוצאתי על דברים. As מה קרה עכשיו? So now the question is, now that I went and do you have to pay me for the extra work that I also did or not? So machloket. First Braita says, Dmei hazera velo haotzah. You don't have to pay me for the extra work. The second one, Yeshomrim says, yes, also the otzah. Who is the Yeshomrim that says also the otzah? Amar Rav Chastar Rashbagi. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. Says the Gemara, hey Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, which Rabbi Shimon Gamliel? If you're going to tell me Rabbi Shimon Gamliel of our Mishnah, the Tznamas we learned in the Mishnah. Imagine right now you're going to sell to your friend, right? Perot, right? Uzran. He comes, he plants them. Velot tzamchu, didn't so forth. Vafilu zerapishtan, and even zerapishtan. Eno chayav b'chayutan, you're going to be chayav b'chayutan. Let's see the sefer. The sefer says, the Shmuel says, zirone gina shana chayav b'chayutan. You are going to be chayav b'chayutan. Tanakama nami achi kamar. You're going to tell me Tanakama holds zerapishtan u'deno chayav b'chayutan, but zirone gina shana chayav b'chayutan. Ela lavo tzai kabenayu. Are you going to tell me that 1 second? Maybe the nafkamina between Tanakama and Rashbag is only hotzah. Do you have to pay for the expenses? He went and he incurred expenses in order to plant this. Not only did he pay for the merchandise, he also incurred expenses. So does he have to pay that or not? Yeah, so he says more savar Tanakama holds the meizera and not the hotzaot. More savar and Rashbag holds even the hotzaot. Says the Gemara, mimai. Whoever said such a thing, maybe it's the opposite. What do you mean now it's the opposite? Right? He says, he comes and he says, Halokashia, kol Tana Batra letfuya mintakati. He says every single Tana came to add on the previous one. And therefore, according to this, Rashbag is adding on that you don't not only chayav b'chrayut that you have to pay back, you also have to pay chotzah. Meaning like this. B'derech klal, right? Anashim, Yishem omrim mashu, mosifim. Yeah, I find sometimes it's opposite, but usual, right? The usual cases is that anashim shemedabrim mosifim. Yeah, they add on. So here, if you have Tanakama, that he says that you're going to be chayav b'chrayutan when it's going to be for planting, right? Not the other one because it was eating, but then afterwards he said, no. But if it's going to be bemeta, you would have to pay for the seeds. So therefore, here what we're trying to say is that you would also be obligated. Rashbag is afterwards, so he's adding. You have to pay not only for that, you have to pay also the hotzahot. Okay, so says the Gemara, "V'dilma kula Rashbag." Maybe the entire Mishnah is Rashbagi. The Chasura Mechzer Avachtanin. You're lacking part of the Mishnah. This is the way that you have to read the Mishnah. Imagine right now you come and you sold seeds to your friend, and you planted them and they didn't grow up. Even if it's going to be zerapishtan, you're not going to be chayav b'chariyutan. And we have in brackets about zirone gina. Yeah, Tivre Rashbag. That is the words of Rashbag. Why should Rabbi Shimon Gamliel omer zirone gina shechol b'chariyutan? Hazerapishtan, meaning the entire Mishnah, meaning he's not adding anything. He's explaining to you the difference between zerapishtan and zirune gina. Zirune gina that is only to plant your chayav b'chariyutan. But zirune pishta that you don't always plant because sometimes you use it for ma'achal or for refuah. Yeah. So therefore, in such a case, so then you're not going to be chayav. 1 second. Just give me half a minute. We're getting to the Mishnah. Elahar Rashbag, but this Rashbag, the Tanya that we learned in a Braita, Hamoli chitin letachon. Imagine right now you're going to take the chitin to come into grind, right? Velo letatan. Now you didn't put it right in the water beforehand. Meaning, usually the way that they used to do it is they used to soak it. Many times, by the way, that's what they do. For example, even chita, right? When you make the chamin, right? Many times what people do is, right, or hummus, right? The the chickpeas. What they usually do is they put it to soak, and they leave it soaking the entire night. Then what happens is that the next day, when you're going to use it, it's already, how do you call it? It's already fluffed up. It's already, that's what I just said, hummus, or I said chita. Right? When you come and you soak it the night before, the next day when you come and use it, it's already absorbed all the water. It's much better. So then when you put it in the chamin, it's actually even much better. So they used to do the same thing for, huh? Yes. So he comes, he says like this. Yeah. So he comes and he says here, right? This is going to be chitin litchon, right? Vasan subinu musan. So you made it bran rather than that, or kemach lenachton vafao patni polin, right? Or kemach to come and to bake it, and then you came and you made it, right? Patni polin, right? Which is basically it's a bread that breaks apart, right? Behemala tabach v'nivla, or behemala tabach and it became a nivela. Chayav, you're obligated to pay. Why? Shehu kinose sachar. Meaning you become an oseh sachar. Right? The second that you're coming and you're taking this animal, you become an oseh sachar. Okay? That means if they did it for free, so then no, because then they're patur. But if they are doing it in such a fashion, now they're going to be chayav. Because it's ki'ilu, they are going to be, right? Noseh sachar. The Shbag comes and he says, Noten lo dme boshto, dme boshet orchav. All you have to give him is the money, right, of the retribution of the boshet and the boshet of what? Of the orchim. Remember, he had orchim over, and now it was a fashla for him. For look what's going on. So with such a fashion, that's what the way it's going to be. That's what the Rashbag said. Minhag gadol Yerushalayim. There was a minhag gadol in Yerushalayim. Hamoser seuda lechavero vekilkela. You're going to give over a seuda, huh? Yes. Yeah. So he says, "Hamoser seuda lechavero vekilkela. Noten lo dome boshtot boshel chaverav." ועוד היה מנהג גדול בירושלים, מפה פרוסה לגבי הפתח, כל זמן שהמפה פרוסה הולכים נכנסים, נסתלקה מפה, which means, whenever you had the מפה פרוסה על הפתח, that they had during the time of the Suda, people used to know that they're eating. So if they're eating, they used to come in and they used to eat. The second they used to take off the mapa, nobody would come in anymore. Because it's kilu, they finished the meal, so that's it. Meaning that there was a special sign that they had on top of the door. They had mapa prusa, they had a mapa open up, that they know they're eating here. So now you could come inside and you could enjoy, you could benefit. But if they come and they take it away, that's it. You can't come in anymore. Huh? No, kilkilas, he ruined it. If I give you a seuda, right, in order to prepare it, and then you come and you ruin my meal. I give you fish to cook, and you destroyed it. Or I give you meat, and you go on the grill upstairs, and you overcooked. You destroyed it. You have to pay for it. Not only have to pay for it, you have to also give me the money of the busha. Ma? משנה no bottom of צדיק ג' וב' says the Mishnah, המוכר פירו לחברו, הרי זה מקבל עליו רוב הטינוף לסאה. If you're going to sell fruits to your friend, the purchaser is going to accept upon himself a quarter of a kav of tinofet, of psolet, for the seah, which means it's normal that you're going to have a little bit of bad ones. It's normal. So if you're going to buy, right, so therefore you're going to accept 1/4 of a kav per seah. Okay, a seah has 6 kavim. So 1/4, so it's achuz kazeh, so it's basically 1/24. Evanta? 1/24. Okay, fine. Te'anim, right? Te'anim mekabel alav 10 metulaot ל-100. Te'anim, 10 out of 100. Martev shel yain, right? When we're talking about a martev shel yain, mekabel alav 10 kosesot ל-100. 10 barrels out of 100. Kankanim, right? Jugs, right? B'Sharon, in the Izor of the Sharon, he's going to have 10 kads for 100. So I mean, sometimes it's going to be a 10% of like damaged product, and sometimes it's 1/24. So it all depends, obviously, right, what we're talking about.